Hello, everyone, and welcome to our parent meeting for the Virtual School of Cleveland. My name is Cliff Eason, and I am the Student and Facilities Support Specialist for Cleveland City Schools. My role in the virtual school is to assist in coordinating the program and to serve as a point of contact for parents. Tonight, we have planned a brief presentation in which we will share some information from our handbook. We want to let you meet the grade level Blade facilitator and let her give you some information regarding her role. And we also want to share some announcements and updates from our board meeting that occurred just earlier today. As we get started, please watch this video covering some key points outlined in our handbook. Consistent attendance and participation in a student's virtual school courses is required. Students will be given weekly assignments with completion goals described by the pacing guide for each course. Students should expect that assignments will take approximately as long to complete as students enrolled in a traditional classroom, which is usually 6.5 hours daily. However, since courses are self-paced, students may complete their assignments in less time or work ahead if they so choose. Attendance for the previous week will be recorded on Mondays. Students will be counted absent for each day where work was not completed by the guidelines in the pacing guide. All guidelines associated with absences set by a student's zoned school will apply to the virtual school students. Students are expected to complete their own work without any unauthorized help. Plagiarism and cheating are violations of school policies. Consequences for these actions can be assigned by the teacher and/or administration. Copying answers, using unapproved assistance for completing quizzes and tests, and turning in others' work as your own are examples of violations of the academic integrity guidelines. Let's remember, a student is not going to learn all that they need to if they aren't doing the work themselves. All students will have access to course instructors on a regular basis. Teachers will set specific office hours and be available for conferences with students by email, phone calls, or virtual meetings. Questions regarding coursework or other school-related issues should be directed to course instructors first. Other staff members, like myself and the Blade facilitator, will be available for additional support, and our contact information will be provided on our website. Students enrolled in the Virtual School of Cleveland are eligible to receive meals from their school cafeterias. Meals must be picked up from the student's zoned school at a designated time and location determined by school staff. Zoned schools will provide both breakfast and lunch during meal pickup times. Students enrolled in the Virtual School of Cleveland will be given the opportunity to participate in extracurricular activities that occur after the traditional school day has ended. However, students will not be allowed to participate in activities that are included as part of the traditional school day. Some examples of this are band and cheerleading. If a student wanted to participate in band, they would not be able to do so because that is a course that takes place during the school day and not just an after-school activity. Cheerleading would be an example of something that a student could participate in because it is simply an after-school activity and does not involve a component during the school day. Students would be subject to the same guidelines for regulations, disciplinary action, transportation, and so forth as all other students are. All students participating in Virtual School of Cleveland are considered Cleveland City School students and are zoned for a specific school. Therefore, they do have a counselor available from their zoned school for conferences or other services as needed. Requests regarding counseling services should be directed to a student's teacher initially for further information.
Hi everybody, my name is Emily Raper and I am the Blade facilitator at the middle school, and I'll be working this year with a Virtual School of Cleveland as well, and I'm super excited for this coming school year. I want to start off by telling you a little bit about me. I taught in the 7th grade English Language Arts classroom at Cleveland Middle School, and just this past year I moved up to our Blade facilitator position, and my role in that position is working as a curriculum specialist. I work with our teachers with the virtual school specifically on Canvas and with the curriculum that they'll be facilitating for your student. And then I also provide instructional leadership and training for our teachers in the building and our virtual school teachers to make sure that we're delivering the best curriculum that we can. So I won't interact with you parents too much during our time in virtual school. I mostly will be working with the teachers, but I'm definitely here to help and support you all in any way that you would feel that I need to do that. I want to let you know about some tools and supplies that will be needed for virtual school if that's what you have chosen for your student. Your student will need a device, obviously a device that they can access virtually. They will be accessing Canvas each day. That's where their courses will be, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute to help you be familiar with that. They'll be accessing Google Meet and things like that for some face-to-face time with teachers or for office hours. So you will need a device that can handle those programs. And you'll also need a way to upload pictures of your work. So a scanner, or if you don't have a scanner, you can even use a cell phone and take pictures to upload your work. But there will be some work that's done on paper that your student will have to upload. And so you'll need a way to do that. And then obviously there's going to be some normal school supplies that will be needed. They'll need some pens and pencils. They'll need some paper, especially on math. They'll be doing work on paper, doing some math problems, things like that. They may need some folders or different things like that. Those will be communicated by the teacher for each specific course once we get that set during these next couple of weeks when our teachers return. So be on the lookout for that school supply list. Your teacher will send that to you and connect with you, but we wanted to kind of make you aware that you will still need some of those normal school supplies that most students will need. The courses that the students will be taking in middle school are the 4 core classes. So they'll take language arts, math, science, and social studies, just like at traditional school. They'll also take physical education and wellness, which is a PE course. So you may get to send your student outside to go do some exercises and things like that with PE, which will be nice. And we'll have some related arts courses as well. And again, the teachers will talk more specifically about what related arts courses are offered and any choices that are available there. But that's what your course schedule will look like. It's virtually the same as if you were to be at in-person school. Courses are done through Canvas, as I mentioned earlier. The students will be completing the work online or, on paper. They maybe do some practice problems and things like that on paper. And then you will upload those and put them in where the teacher can see it to grade. So a CMS teacher is your teacher, but the work is completed at your own pace. So you'll have the course laid out for you. You'll be able to work through those courses, or your student will be able to go through each module. It's broken up kind of into units or modules, and your student will go through those at their own pace. If they have questions, if you have questions, the teacher will have office hours each day. Teacher will be available like any normal teacher via email or via a phone call, and they'll be able to help you with anything you have questions with. Those teachers will take attendance and kind of check your progress. They'll be responsible for your grades. Your grades will be in PowerSchool, just like they have been in years past. And so your CMS teacher will be the one doing all of those things. They won't be logging in and teaching you and instructing you. The instruction will come through your course, and you will be kind of responsible for making sure that you're logged into your course and doing those things. But your teacher will be an invaluable resource for you to have as you work through those modules and through those courses. Again, there is a variety of learning that takes place in these courses. It's not just going to be sitting in front of a screen and watching a video all day. There is the self-paced computer, the learning piece, but there are assignments, there is paper and pencil practice, there are some projects. There is an online collaboration piece. Each course has some online collaboration between classmates and that they'll have to complete. And the learning is assessed in a variety of different ways. There are tests, there's quizzes, there's projects. And then, this last piece down here that's covered up, It just says that your grades will be available in the gradebook in PowerSchool, just like normal. If you've been with us at Cleveland City before, then you may already have the app downloaded and you can access the grades on PowerSchool. If not, you'll get that. And if you have any questions or issues with it, your teachers will be more than happy to help. So one of the questions is, what's the time requirement for my student? Obviously, if they go to traditional school, they go at 7:50, or well, for middle school 7:50, and they get out at 2:50, and they're there for 7 hours. What does that look like in virtual school? So the students will still have an estimated 6.5 hours or so of work a day, but it's self-paced. So they may not start at 7:50. They may start at 8 or 8:30. They might start at 7 if you have an early riser. Whatever works for your student and for your family, that's the great thing about self-paced learning. So the student or you'll have to work together to really come up with a good schedule that works for you all to make sure that all coursework is completed. So parents, your involvement and your time requirement kind of varies by age and independence. Some students can jump in, log on, get through it, no problem. Other students may need more support from you, more reminders of making sure that they're getting their work done, getting their things turned in, that kind of thing. So we can't give really here's the exact time, because it honestly depends on you, your student, your family, and what works best for you all. A couple more pieces that may be of interest to you all. School counselors are available to support our students' social and emotional development. So just like we have a counselor available at school, if your student would need to see a counselor or would require counseling services, the same procedures would be in place. The student would just ask their teacher or let their teacher know, hey, I need an appointment with Miss Lastoria, with my counselor, and they would be able to get with her. She will contact your student and you guys, and you'll be able to have counseling services as well. The other thing, our ESL, or English as a Second Language, our speech, special education services, any interventions that are provided to our students are provided where appropriate in the event of, or in the case of virtual school. So those are there. And a couple of questions that we've had as well about, how do I change? So maybe you've decided, you know what, virtual school is actually not going to be great for my family. I think my student needs to be in person school at this point. Or maybe you have decided, you know what, this actually would work better for our family. How do I go about changing my registration because I already filled it out? All you have to do is email UCHelp, and that's the address that's there on the screen, uchelp@clevelandschools.org. And if you need to adjust your enrollment, make sure that you include your student's name, their legal name first and last, and what you would like to change that to. Don't just send them your student's name. Make sure you say, my student is Joe Smith. I signed up for traditional school, but I would like to change to virtual school, or something like that, so that they can help you get your enrollment finished up. If you have additional questions, you can also visit our website. We have a Twitter @CCSVSC, and you can get updates and information from both of those places as well. I look forward to working with you all this year, and I hope you have a great night.
At this time, I'd like to share a few updates and announcements. Earlier today, our Board of Education had a special called meeting. In that meeting, they made the decision to lift the cap from our virtual school program. Originally, we were looking at enrolling only 300 students for the virtual school. With their move today, we will now be able to accept basically any Cleveland City Schools student that would like to be involved in that program. I know this is welcome news for many of you parents and students that were concerned as to whether or not you'd be able to get into the program. With that change taking place, we have decided to extend our online registration. Online registration will now end on Tuesday, July 28th at 4:30. Our board also made the decision to allow changes as far as enrollment in the virtual school for mid-year. What this basically means is that a student no longer has to commit to the virtual school for an entire year. They can now just commit for one semester at a time. So I know that was something that we got a lot of questions on as well, and I'm sure that's something you all will be glad to hear. Spanish-speaking families that may need assistance from an interpreter for questions relating to the virtual school, please visit our website. There is some information located there in order to help you with that need. Our presentation tonight was created by you, by the parents, basically. We listened to all of the different questions, looked through the text messages, phone calls, and so forth, and tried to come up with a presentation that would try to answer most of those questions. We thank you so much for your input. It was very valuable. I hope that we've been able to be beneficial to you in regard to answering these questions tonight. However, if you did not get an answer to a question that you needed to hear about tonight, please go on our website, get in contact with us. We do want to help you. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We are certainly looking forward to another great year in Cleveland City Schools. Thank you for your time and attention. Good night.